There are stone structures in the Grand Canyon that stopped appearing on maps after 1923, not because they collapsed, not because they were fictional, but because someone decided they shouldn't be there. You know what I'm talking about. You felt it, that pattern your mind caught before you had permission to name it. The inconsistency between what you saw in old surveys and what appears now. The way certain canyon sections suddenly become vague in modern documentation. That sensation isn't paranoia, it's recognition. The Grand Canyon stretches 277 miles across northern Arizona. That's longer than the distance from New York City to Washington, D.C. The canyon itself descends 280 feet, exactly 1 mile straight down, in places where the walls are so narrow that sunlight takes until noon to reach the bottom. Inside that mile-deep scar in the Earth's surface, in chambers and alcoves that most hikers will never see, there are geometric structures that shouldn't exist according to every official narrative we've inherited. They're not natural formations. Erosion doesn't create right angles. Weathering doesn't produce the kind of intentional symmetry that appears in the photographic record from 1903 to 1923. 20 years of expedition documentation, sketches, and early photographs showing what looked unmistakably like constructed platforms, aligned walls, and chamber openings in locations that are now described as inaccessible or geologically unstable. The threshold moment happens when you overlay those old survey maps with current ones, not metaphorically, literally overlay them. Entire sections of the canyon floor that were marked as containing structures of unknown origin in the 1915 U.S. Geological Survey simply vanish in the 1926 revision, not updated, not corrected, deleted, as if someone took a pencil and unmade them. One expedition leader, William Bass, in 1901, documented a descending passageway he called the Marble Corridor. His notes describe walls too smooth to be natural, openings that suggest intentional carving, and chambers at depths that would require sophisticated understanding of the canyon's internal topology to access. His field sketches show geometric relationships that don't match any known indigenous architecture from the Southwest. They don't match anything we have a name for. By 1930, every reference to the Marble Corridor had been excised from public records, not debunked, not explained, removed as though it had never been documented at all. The civilization question, the one you've been thinking, can't be answered yet. And that's exactly right. Because the moment we try to name what built these structures, we're asking for permission from the same institutions that spent 90 years pretending they don't exist. That's the frame trap. The real question isn't who built them. It's why were they so thoroughly unmade from our understanding of the canyon at all. The depth of what was erased becomes visible only when you understand the canyon's scale in human terms. The Mariana Trench, Earth's deepest ocean, would submerge the Grand Canyon entirely and still leave 6 miles of water above it. The canyon is not a hollow in the earth. It's an absence so vast that a mile-high waterfall would take 4 seconds to reach the bottom. In a space that large, it's not difficult to hide what you want hidden. It's only difficult to hide from those who know how to look. The indigenous peoples of the Southwest, the Havasupai, the Navajo, the Hopi, have oral histories that reference the times before, descriptions of structures built by peoples who arrived before the current cycle of civilization, not mythology, historical narrative. Knowledge passed down in the precise, repetitive language of cultures that remember rather than record. Their version of the canyon includes chambers, passages, and purposeful architecture in locations that match, with surprising accuracy, the map locations where Bass and others documented structures that later disappeared. That alignment is not coincidence. Recognition speaks the same language whether it's written in stone, sketched on paper, or carried in memory across generations. The 1923 suppression, the moment when official documentation simply stopped including these structures, aligns with a shift in American institutional power. Federal control of the canyon expanded. Expedition access became restricted. The canyon stopped being a place explorers visited and started being a place the government managed. Not protected, managed. There's a difference. One implies care, the other implies control. What matters right now, what matters today, is that the pattern recognition that led you to this video is not broken. It's proof of function. You caught something the official record wanted invisible. You felt the gap between what was documented and what remains visible. That sensation means you're paying attention to the correct thing, absence itself. The Grand Canyon is not mysterious because we don't know what's in it. It's mysterious because we deliberately stopped looking. Because somewhere around 1923, someone decided the canyon's true history was less important than its managed narrative. And for 91 years that decision held. But decisions like that only hold if no one speaks them into question. Until someone finally looks at the canyon the way the Havasupai have always looked at it, not as a natural wonder, but as a place with memory, with history, with layers of civilization we still haven't learned to translate. The canyon is still there. The structures are still there. And the pattern recognition that brought you here, you can trust that, you were right to trust it.